Hey everybody, what's going on? We got some patch notes that we're going to go over, and I'm going to be talking fairly quiet because one of my little baby boys, had surgery today, and he is napping on the desk next to me. He's on his pain meds and he's chilling, so we're going to try to keep it pretty chill and check out these patch notes. I've glanced over them, but I haven't looked at them in a ton of detail yet, so we're going to go through and look at them in detail. I don't like that white outline I'm getting there, so hang on a sec. Oh, there's just no getting rid of it, huh? You just gonna do me like that? There's gonna be no getting rid of it. You're pissing me off now. Okay, well I guess there's nothing we can do. Somehow there's nothing we can do. Even if I make it... I don't believe you. There we go. Alright, that's better. So yeah, we're gonna read through. Now there's a lot of stuff here about the fairies that they're being added. I don't really want to do a review of them right now. I'd rather just look at the other stuff that's changing, and we'll take a look at the units when they're in the game, okay? Let's talk about some of these buffs and nerfs, because also, I'm just going to go through it, and it's probably going to be a longer video. If I do a longer video, some people complain about it being too long. I tried to do a real short, concise video, and some people complained about the video being too short and concise. So, no matter what I do, apparently, which I knew better, but like no matter what I do, someone's going to complain. So I'm just going to do it like this. This is the way I want to do it anyway, so this is how we're going to do it, all right? If you don't like it, sorry, read them yourself. All right, so we've got Fire and Dark Sorcerer. They get a turn of stealth when they steal a buff on Mana Compress. Nice. Water Barb getting quite a few changes. Cooldown on Rising Tide decreased from 4 turns to 3 turns. Skill upgrade bonus changed from -2 cooldown to more damage. And then the stack count increment is reduced from 4 to 3, and the maximum stack is reduced from 8 to 6. Okay. And then Fire Barb, for his hot temper thing, damage limit effect is adjusted from 35% to 25%, which means you have to hit him more times now to be able to kill him, which I think is kind of interesting. It's like he's Leica, but he needs more hits to be killed now, which is yeah, I think that could be interesting. I don't have one, but still happy to see her on here. This is long overdue. The revival effect no longer applies to herself, and she has a decreased chance of counterattacking. I think this is a pretty fair adjustment. I still think she's going to be very strong, but you're not going to end up in this situation where you're just locked in a fight with her anymore for 40 minutes. You know what I mean? Which I am bad about doing. If I see a light nurse defense, especially in Airship Wars, I like to beat it just on principle, but it always takes me a long time. I go in with my corrupt twin blade and a lot of support, and just over time just wear them down until eventually he can just one-shot everybody, and it takes a really long time. It's very tedious and very annoying, but I just have to do it on principle. So I'm glad to see. I think this is fair. I think she's still very strong. I think this was probably the right move. I think either this or changing the way that she gets the stacks, because every turn taken by everybody, for her to only need 20 stacks, we're talking like, 3 rounds of turns in arena and she's got full stacks. That's crazy. And then if anybody's giving themselves extra turns or anything, it's like, it's so insane. So I think this is good. I think this is a good start. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. But valid change, I think. Little overdue, but very, very happy to see it. The Monk's getting a little love, I think. For Fire, the probability of receiving glancing hits is increased by approximately 20%. Why approximately? Why are we guessing? The additional damage has increased by 25%. And then for the Tremont, the additional damage, which is nice. I'm a big fan. I've used this unit pretty successfully, and Airship Wars in particular. Big fan of Airship Wars for this unit. So I'm happy to see some additional damage there, because I was already having success with him. So now he's even stronger. So great. Really happy to see this piece of shit in the nerf list. I don't think it's enough, but it's a start. The probability of the freeze on his A1 is decreased from 100% to 70. I personally think for how strong the rest of his kit is, I think 50% maximum on an A1 freeze for him. I think it should be a flip of the coin. So I don't think this is enough, to be honest with you, but it's a start. At least there's a chance now it doesn't proc. Whereas before he could just lock you down. Like there was no hope. If he had enough accuracy to freeze you, then you were just never going to get out of it. So it's a start. But I honestly, I think I said in my Discord, I'd rather him just be deleted from the game at this point. I hate this fucking unit. Hate him, but fine. Tree. 2-turn root to all enemies. I don't guess I know what root is. I don't remember root. The effect rate has decreased by 10%. Check the feature battle entry for details. Okay. Dark Iron Fist. Guaranteed critical hit effect has been removed from the passive and added to Vengeful Mark. Okay. Alright. We'll see more about that when we get down there, I guess. Fire Merc Mother. Defense bonus per stack has been increased. Okay. So she's getting a little stronger. Tree Ripper. Is this good or bad for him? 6-star effect has been changed from reducing max HP to applying a 2 turns root. Again, we gotta go see what that means. And then Grave Robber, the additional damage based on the enemy's missing reduced HP has been increased. Okay. Alright. I 6-starred him. I pulled him right when they were first released and 6-starred him and then didn't do anything with him. I just never did anything with him, so maybe we can do something with him now. Extra damage for the light one. Nice. Nenrat. When attacked, 20% chance to evade, and you can evade 1 fatal attack per turn. After evade, your action bar is increased by 50%. What was it? I don't remember. I don't know what's different about that. 20% chance to dodge. Damage which would otherwise kill you will be cancelled. And increases your action bar by 50%. This effect is activated only once per turn. 20% chance to dodge. Fatal damage will be cancelled, and your action bar will be increased, and it only happens once per turn. When attacked, there is a 20% chance to evade, and you can evade 1 fatal attack per turn. After the evade, your action bar is increased. I'm guessing maybe it's the when attacked thing. Maybe this was also proccing on like damage, like dots and stuff, or maybe it's just a tidy up of the wording. I don't know. For Dark, when in stealth, it gets 50% accuracy. Alright, great. This is nice to see, because I've been wanting to build the Water Annihilator for a while now, and I haven't done it yet. But I think there's a lot of potential there. It's nice to see them get some crit rate on 6-star. Also, my Dark Annihilator's gonna love that. I really like my Dark Annihilator. I use him quite a bit. And then the Dark is getting more. Added effect. Your attacks are always considered... Ooh, I like that too. Gained Foresight can stack up to 3. This passive is only triggered when the enemy uses or triggers a skill that applies a buff. Gaining buffs through gear. Alright, I never used it like that anyway. I like that. So he's about to get nastier, and he's already kind of nasty for me. Light Bookworm. What are we doing a Light Bookworm? The cooldown time will be increased by 1 turn for each ally revived by this skill. I don't think that's unreasonable. I think that's a pretty valid change, to be honest with you. This is huge for the LD account. Now her magical hamburger skill also is a full cleanse. That's huge, man. That is so big. That is so big for anybody doing LD challenge. just absolutely fantastic change. That is so good. I'm so appreciative that she got a change. I'm like wondering if he sees everybody doing the LD challenge and he's like, you know what? They could use something like this. This would be really helpful for them. So huge props for that change. I think that's excellent. Like, doesn't break her, doesn't really change much, generally speaking, but for the people doing the LD only challenges, that's such a cool change. That's so nice. Giant. I actually like the fire giant. I used him a lot early on. Damage multiplier has been changed from defense to max HP, but the cooldown's been increased by turn. All right, that's pretty cool though. Turtle tank grants himself 2 turns of immunity. Ooh, excuse me. All right, now I really appreciate this change too. The time limit for 20x battles in the dungeon has been extended from 60 seconds to 90 seconds. If you don't know what that's referring to, in here, for all the dungeons, there's this last mission where you have to get it down to below 60 seconds to complete this last mission. And for lab, it's very tough because you're kind of time crunched, or not time crunched, but like, I guess you're sort of time gated in lab by all the animations that you have to sit through for the different thresholds and all that. You're just kind of stuck. So it's really hard to get under 60 seconds in there. So I think it'll be helpful for that. We were looking at lab. I meant Vegas. If I said lab, I meant Vegas. And then lab is just also a very tough dungeon to do in less than a minute because you got to kill him twice, basically. So that's pretty nice. We might be able to jump in and get those now. I don't know what my times are. Can you see that? I feel like there is a way. Maybe there's not. I don't know what my times are in here. But either way, it's a little bit more obtainable now, which is nice. I appreciate that. This seems like a really solid update so far. These are very solid patch notes. All right. Effects displayed with a purple icon now require passing both a resistance check and an immunity check when applied to enemy targets. However, all previously existing skills of this type will ignore resistance and immunity to maintain their final effects unchanged. Okay. So only the new ones, only the new purple stuff has to go through those checks. But Vengeful Mark, I guess, doesn't. And whatever else there was? Okay. The newly added Tempting Wreath and Leech Seed will not receive these bonuses, and resistance and immunity can prevent the application of these effects. Okay. All bosses will be immune to special effects from enemies, and the accept bosses statement will no longer be included in the skills descriptions to avoid redundant descriptions. All right, cool. So now, when someone has Vengeful Mark, defense is reduced by 50% and attacks received will always be critical hits. This effect is only provided by Dark Iron Fist, okay? Tempting Wreath. Your allies will attack you. Oh, right, this is the fairy thing. Uncontrollably. When the effect ends, all other allies will be stunned for 1 turn. This effect is only provided... I guess we're going to go look at the fairies at the end of this, because now I'm curious what she could possibly be doing that would be worth that. Because that's crazy. Leech Seed cannot be revived. Interesting. All received healing is transferred to the effect provider, and 20% of your HP is drained each turn. That is crazy. That's a crazy fucking mark to have. Only provided by the Dark Fairy. Root cannot perform co-op or counterattacks, nor can you gain extra turns or increase the action bar. This effect is now provided by the Tree Ripper and Tree Man-at-Arms. Just like the freeze ability and the burn ability of fire, most root effects in the future will come from tree elements. Most bosses will be immune to this effect. Most bosses will be immune. Okay. So that's kind of cool that it's like generally element specific. And it kind of makes sense. I dig that. HP based damage. The reduce damage based on HP effect and skills in boss protection now not only limits maximum HP damage, but also damage based on current HP or missing HP. The reduce damage based on HP effect and skills in boss protection now not only limits maximum HP. What does that mean? Does that mean that it's going to be harder to like light popo bosses? Is that what that's saying? I don't know. Ally focus. During auto battle, clicking on an ally unit will set that unit as the part. I like that. That's pretty cool. I've always thought that should be a thing. I think I've only seen it in one game. And I don't even know if that game's actually out yet. It's a game that I did some closed beta testing for a few months ago. I'm trying to think if I've ever seen that in a game before. That's out. We'll focus. In Crazy Dungeon, Abyss Dungeon, Mental Fortress, and Guild Survival Battles, you can preset the focus ally in the battle settings. Oh, I dig it. That is very cool. That is a very cool feature. Manual battle. In the Lost Tunnel, you can set the final wave to be forced into manual mode. Very cool. This means the first two waves will be auto-battled, but when the final wave begins, auto-battle will stop. This only applies to single battles. Yeah, okay. I dig that too. That's cool. That's such a cool change, man. Test battles now have their own settlement panel where you can click a button to retest or share the test results. Okay. The following battles, which could not have their replay shared in previous versions, can now be shared. Arena test mode, elite arena test mode, airship battle. Nice. Due to changes. Yeah, that's understandable. Okay, we got more. Just making sure he's breathing. Detail substat filter. In the gear interface of the inventory and the gear management interface, you can switch the substat filtering to detailed mode. I love that. Excellent. Multi-type filter. In the gear interface of the inventory and gear management, you can switch the gear type. I also think that's excellent. You can now customize the name of each gear tag. Cool. Batch cell. Yeah, all great changes. The sorting button has been added. Love that. That's so good. I was just griping about this. Inheritance no longer consumes gems, but instead consumes gold. However, there's a 12-hour usage cooldown period. Fine. I think that's a very reasonable change. I think that's a very reasonable change. Airship war. Interface improvement. The layout of the defense formation has been optimized. When clicking on an enemy ship, an information page will pop up where you can confirm the enemy's defense lineup and your attack records. Nice. You can now reserve the defense position you plan to attack. After reserving, all guild members will be able to... Guild members, rather. Starting 6 hours before the tally. Oh, that's so good. Man, that's a shame. That's a shame for Nepo. He was going for rank 1 a few weeks ago, and Troll decided to just spam attack him to keep him from getting rank 1 for some reason. And he ended up getting rank 2. So that's actually that prevents that from happening, which is a pretty cool change. I think that's pretty cool. And then more updates. Man, that's a big old patch, dude. Fix the issue where the fire bear could not correctly delay the damage when receiving... I've noticed that, actually. I've seen that happen a few times. Fix the issue where counterattacks sometimes occurred at the wrong time. I haven't seen that. Certain passive effects would still trigger. I haven't seen that either. Fix the issue where units with auto-revive abilities would still trigger counterattacks after reviving. Have I seen that? I don't know. Maybe I did, actually. Maybe I saw it with Light Nurse earlier today, actually. Now that I think about it. Fix the issue where the interaction between counterattack and escort effects cause incorrect counterattacking. I don't know if I've seen that. Resistance of minor enemies in the Abyss dungeon was not working correctly. I don't know about that. Player disconnected from battle for too long. I don't know about that. Haven't seen it. With certain special cases, the replay of the battle did not match the actual battle situation. Opponent's rank was not displayed correctly. Attack log could not be queried after the war ended. Territory war stuff. Airship with territory war. Yeah, lots of guild war stuff. Players could still see the shared information from players they had blocked. Automatically crafts. There's a lot of issues I have not heard of. Leader's effect bonus was not displayed correctly on some defensive formation setups. Cooldown time of the swap feature in the themed arena was not working correctly. I don't even know what that means. What is the swap feature? In themed arena, what is that? Themed arena? Oh. Okay. I was like, that's not open, but I forgot you could do friendly battles. Okay, fair enough. It's like, wait a minute. Black screen, more theme arena stuff. Yeah, lots of arena stuff. That's nice. I've noticed a thing too where when I switch my audio source from headphones to speakers, even though the game still says it's muted, it's not muted, and I have to unmute it, mute it, unmute it, mute it for it to actually mute again every time I switch my audio source, if I do it while the game's open. Okay, man, that's solid. Let's look at these damn fairies, I guess. Okay, so for it's so like, I feel like I'm not getting a look at them individually. Like cool, all the elements do this, and then Tree and Dark do this. It's like, that's going to be so much harder, I feel like, to remember than looking at them all individually. So Fragrance. Attack an enemy and inflict 1 turn of sleep with a 40% chance skilled up. If successful, increase your action bar. Tree and Dark. Have Bud of Tranquility. Attack an enemy, remove on buff, and inflict 2 turns of silence. That's a really nice skill. Damage based on the enemy's max HP. Water, Fire, Light. Have a transfer all debuffs from all allies to the target enemy and recover HP to all allies. The lower your HP, the more the healing amount. That's a crazy skill, dude. Water. If enemies take the turn consecutively, I'm guessing that means if they get an extra turn. So like if Light Bookworm uses an A2 or something, there will be an increasing chance of being inflicted with 1 turn of freeze after their turn. If an enemy is unable to act or only uses a normal attack, your action bar will increase. Additionally, all allies under an ability state will receive 70% less damage. That's pretty nice. Fire. Remove 50% of your current HP and attack all enemies. Chance to inflict a stun. Damage based on your lost HP. The lower your HP, the higher the chance of causing a stun. Tree has attack all enemies 3 times with a 70% chance to inflict 3 turns dot. Okay, so 1 stack of dots that last for 3 turns, not 3 different dots. Right? Afterward, for each dot on the enemy side, increase the action bar of all allies by 3%. That could be pretty nice for Tunnel, actually. Attack an enemy, remove all buffs. Oh, this is a light skill. Light Misdirection. Attack an enemy, remove all buffs, and inflict 2 turns of Mark and 1 turn of Tempting Wreath. Right, we looked at that. Okay. And then Dark has inflict 5 turns of Leech Seed to the target enemy. This effect will automatically disappear upon your death. Additionally, if the debuff you applied is removed, it will automatically transfer to the remover and refresh its duration. Wow. So like GG Fire Nurse. GG Fire Nurse. That seems like it's going to be rough for Fire Nurse to overcome. I mean, it's a dark net 5. I think she's a net 5. These are net 5s, right? I'm pretty sure they are. Okay, man, that's solid. These have been really good updates. There's really good changes in here. I think the Light Nurse change is very reasonable. I don't have her. I can ask Angel how he feels about it as someone who does have her. But I think it seems very reasonable. I think she's still going to be really strong. I think there's an effort here to bring some units up that nobody's really doing anything with and make them a little more interesting. I like the Annihilators are getting some love. I think this Hog Chef change is excellent. I think that's such a cool change. We're getting some new effects in the game. Tons of like quality of life and bug fixes. Excellent update, man. Excellent. They're killing it. They really are killing it with these updates. Yeah, they're killing it. I'm excited for the update. I'm excited for the new units. Release date 5/5/2025. I think that's supposed to be one of these is supposed to be 06, I believe, because that's today. So I think that's a little typo, but not a big deal. When does the update actually go live? Hopefully soon. I'm ready to summon. Yeah, but I'm not summoning until the new units are here. I know you better not make me keep clicking back to game, though. I know that. Am I stuck here? Do I have to close the game? All right, I think I'm stuck in here. Maybe I can do that. I'm just stuck in here, dude. This is pretty cool. Okay. Well, I've got to close the game, I guess, to actually get back to the game. So, unfortunate, but it is what it is. Solid update. Solid update. Let me know what you guys think about it. And, yeah, be on the lookout. When the update does go live, I'm going to hop in and do my summons because your boy's been itching. So, interested to hear what you guys think about these notes. I think it's solid all around. I really don't have any critiques. I don't really have anything negative to say, except that I think Water Man-at-Arms needs to be deleted from the game. And that's pretty much it. And that's on God. I'm getting out of here. Have a good one, guys. Later.